Hi, Aaron here, Ultra Consulting, Leadership Development. Today, I want to talk about managing resources. Managing resources is the basic accounting you're going to do before you start into any task. Now, as an example, I used to work in a bottling plant in Baltimore back in the day. And so we put soap in bottles. That's what we did. It was actually really fantastic. If you haven't seen a modern manufacturing facility, they're a sight to behold. It's really neat how things get made and produced and then onto your shelves at the grocery store, at any store you go to. It's a modern marvel. It really is. But anyways, so I worked as a production manager, and so we had to make sure we had certain resources on hand before we started running the lines. So first of all, you had to know how many bottles do you have, how many caps do you have, how many sleeves or stickers, and then you need to know what you had for liquid. So how much soap did you have on hand per that type. And so you can run the rough math on that, and it should be on the production schedule, and then you would know. Like, you could either run it or you couldn't. Now, you might have some shortfalls. You might say, well, I'm missing X amount of bottles to complete this run on liquid. So what you would start doing is going, hey, well, we don't want to flush liquid down the drain because that wastes money. So you start looking at the resources you have. You call up to the blower plants that blow bottles for you out of plastic, and you'd call them up and you'd find out, hey, do you have any more bottles coming off the line? Is there anything shipping down to reach us a little bit later today or late tomorrow when this production run is going to start getting towards the need for more bottles? And they might say yes, or they might say no, and that'll adjust your decision. Or you could be low on caps, and so you'd ask the supply chain guys, are there more caps coming in, or sleeves? In which case you might go up and check the warehouse to go see if there's still sleeves in storage and see what you have left and what you can or can't run. And so you're going to check all those things off and make sure you have them. And then from there, too, your last but not least resource is your people, because people are hugely important. And you might have people on certain shifts that just do things better than others. And so, or you might have a bottle type that runs better than others. So you have to look at your production schedule and say, hey, where do I want to align these things so I get the greatest amount of return on my investment of effort and investment in resources? And that's kind of the basics of managing resources. You really want the highest return that you can get, and you want to do it intelligently. And it's a lot easier to restart no's than to undo yeses. And, it's just like doing carpentry. It's better to measure twice and cut once. So, remember, managing resources is just basic accounting. Find out what you have, what you don't have, reach out to your resources, figure out if you can close the gaps, and if you can't, find something else and do the same. And you line it all up till you get to a point where you can't execute. That's all it is. That's the basics. Till next time.